Shalom. I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to the brother that's teaching his truth and sincerity. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the 1/3, the sincere listeners. All right, Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai being the name of his Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This gospel is truth, the kingdom of heaven, and salvation is for the Israelites and the Israelites only, who are you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and the ones scattered abroad that may look like the other nations, where your spirit resonates with this truth, you're more than most likely an Israelite. Going back to one of the 12 patriarchs on your father's side, bloodline, seed, all right, through the seed, all right. This is going to be a response to the elders video here. GMS contrition is key. Ga. Breaking. Bill C9 has officially passed. We're here. All right. I'm just gonna do a line back. Definitely subscribe and be edified to this channel, and go check out this video as well. But it's that time, man. Long story short, famine of the word in Canada. Canada is just outside of Babylon, as we know. And this brother did a video saying that the famine of the word will happen in other places before Babylon. Because basically Babylon is the last country to fall. See what I'm saying? That's like the last country that the elites are going to collapse. Because they're collapsing all these other countries. Canada is one of them. All right, all these different countries are just testing grounds on how they're going to collapse Babylon the Great, ultimately. All right, these are all testing grounds. How will the people react if we implement this? What will they do? What won't they do? You see what I'm saying? These are all the things that are coming into place. All right, and he said in this video he's going to get the order from the head apostles and bishops, and obviously he'll let us know, brothers here in Canada. He'll let us know as well. Tell our heads, you know what I mean? The heads will tell us, and everybody, we gotta make it that's the judgment call. It's the decision. We gotta be privy to the snare of the devil, man. At the end of the day. Okay, we gotta be privy to this devil, Esau. Because he's trying to destroy you, he's trying to get you. Especially you Israelites that know you're Israelites. Okay. He loves to see you Israelites that don't know you're Israelites in that sleep state. All right, but I can't even, I'm not gonna say too much, but it doesn't even matter because I actually looked it up. But basically, going into Revelation 11, man. Revelation 11 and 11. Okay, because this is why they're moving the way they're moving towards us. You know what I mean? And because we quote unquote, we are putting quote unquote fear into their hearts, because we woke up to this truth. We woke up to who our enemies were. We're exposing who our enemies are, right? And so that's putting fear into these people, man. And really, they can quote unquote, based off of the Bill C9, they can use that against us. You know what I mean? Because Esau doesn't like to see Israelite men. Okay. Esau doesn't like to see Israelite men gathered together, man. I'm going to give you an example. Like when we're on the highways and byways, man. All right. Esau doesn't like to see this. Okay. Okay. Esau doesn't like to see us on the highways and byways. You see how much Jake this is? Israelite men standing in great boldness. All right, this quote unquote intimidates Esau. He doesn't want to see this anymore. He can use this against us. He's gonna eventually say, "Oh, I felt intimidated. Oh, I tried to cross, and even though we let people cross, this is a sidewalk. We stand on one side of the sidewalk, and there's enough space for other people to walk and use it, and they act like but they can say, "Oh, I felt intimidated." You see what I'm saying? But we're the ones with the cameras for our protection. But these people are bugged out. They're devils. You see what I'm saying? And honestly, if you weren't in the truth, you'd be like, yo, what's going on over here? You see what I'm saying? I remember the first time I came up to the camp, I was like, whoa, like the spirit's here. Like this is not no joke. You see what I'm saying? I was like, who? Like I remember the first time I went to the camp, but I was going there to learn. But even me just being there was like, whoa, this is serious. It's not a joking matter. You know what I mean? Like it's not, I was there in all sincerity and truth. You see what I'm saying? But I felt the spirit and I knew I had to be on my P's and Q's, man. It wasn't a joke. So imagine people that are in the world and they see us. What type of feeling and whatever it is. I don't give a fuck what the feeling they're feeling. I'm just saying what they're going to be able to use to say, oh, I felt this way. And, I felt intimidated and all this bullshit. Just based off of feeling. Just us, Jake congregated. That's why even in the workplace, they don't like to have too much Jake in the workplace. Because that intimidates them. You see what I'm saying? In these corporate worlds, in these corporate realms. It's not like you're in Atlanta or something and it's majority Jake. You know what I mean? That's like, Atlanta is like what do you call it? It's like I don't know. It's like an anomaly. You don't get that. It's like Atlanta's like going to a HBCU, predominantly black university. So everybody that you're learning, everybody you're around is black. You're in an environment where they're so-called black. You see what I'm saying? And you're seeing yourself, you're seeing people that look like you. So, you're around people that basically think the way you think. You're around Israelites, right? Same kind of personality. So it's not a big deal, right? You're not feeling intimidated, You're around people that know you, so to speak, When it comes to, like a regular, I don't know, whatever. Fuck it. You're in Toronto now, whatever, where we are, and you're in the workplace. There's not even that much. Like, there's not a lot of Jake. I mean, Jake is everywhere, but compared to America, there's not as much Jake, like so-called Southern Kingdom, I should say, as there is in America. Obviously, so even worse if you're in these quote-unquote work environments, right? Esau don't want to see you congregating. Like he's not gonna hire a multitude of Jake, of Southern Kingdom Jakes, right? That look like Southern Kingdom Jakes, because he's gonna feel intimidated by that. You see what I'm saying? So imagine what word, and that's in a professional setting, and this is a professional. I mean, this is Yahweh Shem Yahushai's business, so it has nothing to do with being professional. This is a diplomatic setting, so to speak. This is through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. This has no, I don't even know what to call this, but this is about our Father's business. This is about Yahushai's business. This is Yahushai's business. It's through the spirit, but it's unconventional to the world. They don't understand it. So because they fear what they don't understand, these people are fear what they don't understand. You see what I'm saying? How much strong delusion is put on these people, man. The Lord can make them see things, and then I saw this, even though it wasn't even that. You know what I'm saying? But these people are so bugged out. They're on all type of drugs and all type of weird shit, and they're scary as hell as it is. Well, I just wanted to make that point. Let's grab some scriptures and then we close up. I wasn't gonna make this too long, but Revelation 11:11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yahweh entered into them. Right? They see lively stones, man. We're lively. We're on the highways and byways. We're lively. You see what I'm saying? And the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai offends these people, man. Okay, that's why they're coming down with these laws now, because they really don't want. They hate him that rebuketh at the gate. I'm gonna get that right after I finish this. And they stood upon their feet, Right? I'm gonna read it from the top. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yahweh entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Right. So when these people see us, great fear is falling upon them, man. And they can say, "Oh, I felt fear for my life." Right? They can say these things. You know? And that's exactly what they're saying in their mind. Like, what's going on here? They see the horns on who the world calls Jesus Christ. You see what I'm saying? And one thing I will say this though, when the bill does come into effect, they can't use previous things. How do I say it? They can't use previous things against you. You see what I'm saying? But moving forward, they can. But I should do a double take. So this video might be a little bit longer than I said it will be. But we'll see. let's see. None of you pussies is acting the same. Let's see. I don't know why this was tripping. Oh, it's in the gate. I said at the gate. That's why. So like, yeah. Amos 5:10. They hate him. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. I get that in NLT. How you hate honest judges, and how you despise people who tell the truth. Right. So they hate us for telling the truth. People don't like the truth. That's why you gotta lie to people. You gotta lie to people at work. You gotta lie to get the job. You know what I'm saying? You gotta lie to your woman. You gotta lie to a bitch. You gotta lie to get the bitch. You gotta keep lying to the bitch to keep the bitch. You know what I'm saying? You gotta supplant everybody in your whole life. You gotta lie. In this world, you gotta lie just to you know, you gotta become a pathological liar to people in the world, man. Yeah. I got 4 cats and 5 dogs and shit like that, just to, you know, have keep the conversation going. You see what I'm saying? Just lie. These people are just they're empty as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have nothing about them for real. You know what I'm saying? Just lie to these people. Who cares? They're in the world. Who gives a fuck? Lie. You know, but we're gonna come to a point we don't have to lie anymore, man. The fuck we lying for? All right, when society collapses, it's only gonna be reality. But you know what I'm saying? It's only you people are gonna have to deal with reality, man. You people want to just live in la la land. You want to be lied to. You want your government to lie to you. You see what I'm saying? So just fucking lie. Lie to these people, brothers. Lie to them. The government is lying to these people. Why can't you should be able to lie to them too? Because all they want to do is live in a lie. Just lie. Lie. Oh, why didn't you tell me? Bitch, shut up. Lie. Lie your ass off. Fuck them. It's just easier. And then there's going to come a point where it's not, you don't have to lie. And that's going to be easier. You see what I'm saying? Ezekiel 3:26, and I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, because this is the famine of the word at the end of the day. All right, famine of the word's coming. You people need to know. You know, we're not gonna be out in the highways and byways. You people are gonna be in fear. Where are the prophets? Where are they? They're not there. We don't see them no more. And honestly, you know, at the end of the day, these people thought we were gonna be prophesying forever. Is that what you thought, man? The kingdom's on its way. Yahweh Shai's coming back. What you thought? We wasn't gonna be prophesying forever. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, when the time comes, whatever it is, the case may be, yeah, we're gonna be out there until the time comes. You see what I'm saying? But, the kingdom's coming now, man. And I'll make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb and shalt not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're not gonna be reproving you wicked ass jakes, man. The time to get the truth is now. But if you don't want to get it, sayonara, man. You know what I'm saying? This is Hebrews 8 and 10. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. Yahushua, I'll put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts. And I'll be Salakia, Yahweh, Salakia, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord. Right now we're teaching our people, do you know the Lord? Turn back to the Lord, repent to the Lord. This is the name of the Lord, Yahweh. His son's name is Yahushua. You get what I'm trying to say? You know him? You know what I'm saying? Right now we're teaching, we're beating that drum, we're banging that drum. Okay? But we're not gonna have to do that in the kingdom, man. Because the Lord's gonna make us all know Yahweh Yahushua. Alright? For all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. You see what I'm saying? So we're all gonna know Yahweh Yahushua. Alright? We're not gonna be, that's what I'm saying. We're not gonna have to teach, we're not gonna have to go out every Saturday. Ain't gonna be such thing as a Saturday in the kingdom of heaven, man. Or Friday or whatever. There's just gonna be days. And we're not gonna have to go out every day. You see what I'm saying? Or every week, once a week out the day, whatever, twice a week, however many times brothers go out. We're not gonna have to teach. We're not gonna keep teaching. We're gonna be teaching in a different way. We're gonna be judging. We're gonna be judges. We're gonna be executing judgment. That's how we're gonna be teaching. That's how we're gonna be teaching the people, the heathen. We're gonna have the curriculum. We're gonna have a different form of teaching set up. The curriculum, the Israelite curriculum. Okay? If you want wisdom, you're gonna have to learn. After the Bible, it's gonna get deep, man. Because after the Bible, after that's learned, you're gonna have to learn the ways of the 144,000, right? The 144,000 gonna have books written after them. They're gonna have books. They're gonna be writing books. They're gonna be, in the spirit. They're gonna be having scribes and people scribing after them, and scribing their thoughts and ideas. And you heathens are gonna have to read that just to be inspired, man. Wow, I didn't even know we could do that, sir, my good sir. Obviously you're speaking Hebrew, but but these heathens gonna be in astonishment by us, man. You know what I'm saying? My lord, wow, my lord, I did not know, my lord. Wow, they're just gonna be in awe, man. But let's get this Bill C9 business. Let's see what the AI is saying. Show more. Ask anything to the AI. Cool. Let's see. Can you be punished? Let me just talk to the stupid AI. Can you be punished for previous things said or whatever, maybe in a video, on YouTube or something like that, for the past when this bill comes into effect? Let's see what it says. All right, see, so yeah, so we're technically, but Esau could change this, whatever. He can make a new law and then really come down on brothers for real. You know what I mean? But, whatever. It is what it is. No, you cannot be retroactively punished under Bill C9 for a video published before the law comes into effect, because the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms strictly prohibits retroactive criminal laws under Section 11G of the Charter. A person cannot be found guilty of a criminal offense unless the action was a crime at the exact time it happened. However, the legal status of an old YouTube video changes the moment the law officially takes effect on July 18, 2026. So what does that mean? Let's see what it says. The ongoing publication rule in Canadian law, leaving an old video publicly viewable online is considered a continuous act of communicating statements. If a video remains public after July 18, 2026, it is legally treated as if you were saying those things on that day. So I guess you aren't protected by it. So how does it say one way? How does it say one thing and then another? I don't know. These people are bugged out, man. For a video published before the law. Okay. Anyways, the repeal of the religious defense. Bill C-9 removes the historical good faith religious exemption in the criminal code if a past video quotes or interprets religious text in a way that the courts now define as extreme vilification or detestation. Keeping the video public could expose you to prosecution under the updated law. Okay. Publicity matters. The law applies specifically to statements made other than in private conversation. A public or unlisted YouTube video shared via a link is considered public communication. A public or unlisted YouTube video shared via link. Okay, a video changed to private so only you can see it does not constitute public communication. Key protections remain. High legal threshold for any online speech to be classified as criminal hate speech under Bill C-9. It must meet the strict legal standard of extreme vilification or detestation. Simply expressing an unpopular, offensive, or controversial opinion does not meet this threshold. Attorney General approval. See, that's the thing, right? You don't even know, because you know you be in the spirit and you say stuff in the spirit and whatever, and you're saying it because you're justified by the scriptures, but they're taking away that hedge, that defense. So you don't even know which video to even go into to be like, yo, let me, take this one down, or let me private it. You see what I'm saying? But it is what it is, right? We're covered by Yahweh Shem Al-Shai. It's His will at the end of the day. Because, even in videos, man, this, not to say the spirit's not on you or not, whatever. The spirit doesn't have to be on you to do a video. But I'm just saying, you might be starting a video and you're talking about one thing that you already have the topic, but then you might go on a tangent and talk about something completely irrelevant to the topic, because that's just where the spirit led you. And you don't even know, what was said in this video and what was said in, so it's just all technical. But it says if you have older content on your channel that you worry might cross into these newly tightened definitions, the safest legal measure is to change the privacy settings of those specific videos to private or delete them entirely before the law takes effect. All right. So yeah, do with that information as you will. Consult. Brothers consult their heads. Their elders and stuff like that, because you know what I mean. We don't want to get flagged for nothing, man. We don't want to give this devil a reason to screw us over, bro. You know what I mean? Real talk, bro. Honestly, with wisdom, with the times coming before, like on the 17th, put your videos to private or something. You know what I mean? Because this devil's coming down on some shit. You know what I mean? So, you don't give this devil a reason. But anyways, Daniel 8:23, and in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance, and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. Esau, Edom. Okay, these laws that he's passing are dark sentences, man. Very vague, ambiguous laws, man. Like, what is exactly deemed as hate speech? You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna tell you. Oh, or people felt fear for their life. Okay, what fear? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's all ambiguous, man. It's this gray area of nonsense, right? So that's a dark saying. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, right? Because he got the power from Yahweh Shai. Okay, he didn't get it from his own. He thinks he did, because his pride has deceived him, man. Pride in his heart has deceived him. He think he did it on his own. God, he just thinks God blessed him, but he did it on his own though, his own accord. You see what I'm saying? And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people, right? The Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. I might, just the spirit just hit me. I'm gonna do another video, but I'm probably gonna ask the AI based off Bill C9, what topics or what video topics in the Bible can I talk about that will not offend? But that's the thing. What's the point? You know what I mean? Well, why we gotta be pussyfooting our words just for these devils, man? Just for you people not to be, oh, you offended me and all this shit. I want to, I'm just saying that that's how we teach. So it's like, if we can't be our true, authentic selves, then not to say there's no point in teaching, but for our own safety, yeah, there's no point in teaching, honestly. You know what I mean? Now, if brothers travel, brothers go to another place, another country, go on vacation, whatever, you're going to wherever you go, or even go to Babylon, you're going to visit brothers over in America, and obviously you can go and teach. You know what I mean? And you wouldn't be able to go and upload your own video though, per se, because if you got to go back to Canada, you wouldn't be able to upload on your channel. You know what I mean? Like that. Well, we'll find out anyways when the law passes. I'm sure the elder is getting in touch with the apostles and bishops anyways, and we'll get the green light, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Because we're almost out of here anyways, man. You people thinking we was gonna be here forever, you bugging out, man. The Yahweh Shai is coming back. Godspeed. You know what I'm saying? Simple and plain. And here I was saying I wasn't gonna make this too long, and not to say this is long. It doesn't even matter. I just go in the spirit anyways. Because my mind said, you know what? I'm gonna just do a quick response, and then the spirit just have you jump and go places, man. It is what it is. You can't dictate this. It's the Lord. This is the Lord's thing, man. This is the Lord's script. I only like the words that are coming out of my mouth is the words that Yahweh Shai has given me to say at this very exact moment. You understand? Like, I did not write this. This is a freestyle through the spirit. You know? And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Yeah, he's gonna try and fight against Yahweh Shai. 2 Ezra 13. Okay? But he's gonna be broken down. He's gonna be trodden down. Alright, you're not gonna stand a chance. That's that's why the scripture says, Yahweh Shai says, think not what thou shalt say when these fuckers get you. You know what I'm saying? When these fuckers decide to roll on the men of the Lord. Yahweh Shai said he'll let you know what to say. And it's just gonna be the same thing now, because we said everything, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. And I've heard apostles say before that, brothers from different countries will move to Babylon, whatever, just, to continue. Where, if I'm not saying that's an order, I'm not saying he made it an order. I'm saying I've heard him say that before. He said that in the spirit. He said that he sees brothers coming to Babylon from other countries. You know what I mean? He said that in the spirit. He said that I think more so during COVID, I believe, during those times. Because I remember he was doing a response to a brother's video in the UK. And the UK is not too far along from Canada anyways. It's all under the British rule, whatever. Canada under Crown land, whatever. And all that stuff. So they're not too far off. The brothers over there are not too far off from being off the highways and byways themselves also. But it looks like our law is being pushed even faster than even over there. Like I said, all these countries are just different testing grounds for how they're going to collapse Babylon. You see what I'm saying? I want to get that word policy. Because this guy's a Diablo, man. So this is a shakal. Okay, so it says in the Hebrew, shakal. And it says prudence, insight, understanding, good sense, insight, understanding, cunning, craft, bad sense. All right, so that's exactly in this cunning, craft, but bad sense. That's exactly what policy is. So I'm gonna get that word in the etim real quick. You know what I mean? Because policy is not law, and this policy is what all these quote unquote laws that Esau uses to run his world. He uses policies. He doesn't use laws. He technically cannot use law because he's not using the law of the Bible. So everything else that's not a law, it's a policy. It's like a pseudo law. You see what I'm saying? Etim online. Yeah. It's a pseudo law. It's like a false law, man. You know what I mean? It's not no real law. Way of management, policy, study or practice of government. See? Study or practice of government. Mind control. Government means mind control. Control over the mind. Mental, right? Govern the mind. Good government. From Old French policy, political organization, civil administration. From late Latin. Okay, I'm just going to read it, see if everything stands out. And I'm going to close up. From late Latin, politia, the state civil administration. From Greek, politia, state administration, government, citizen, blah, blah, blah. Polis. It says from early 1517, an organized state, organized or established system of government or administration. But the sense has gone with polity, also from early 15th century. Object or course or conduct on the principles to be observed in conduct, and thus prudence or wisdom in action generally, but especially the system of measures or the line of conduct which a ruler, minister, government, or party adopts best interests for the country in domestic or foreign affairs. Let's see what else it says. Written contract to pay or certain sum on certain contingencies. A contingency plan. From French police, contract, bill of lading, written evidence of a transaction, note, bill, ticket, lottery, ticket. All right, you get the point. There's also formerly a form of gambling, the numbers game. Anyways, whatever. I think the blue letter broke it down the best. So it says cunning craft, all right? So yeah, the blue letter broke it down, the Hebrew, right? At the end of the day. All right, so it's cunning craft at the end of the day. So the policy, we know what that is now. cunning craft. All right. So I'm gonna end it off there. Lord will, you're edified. I'm gonna say shalom and to the next one.